Hi Year 3, so today we're finishing off our Rousseau toucan. We've got a few little finishing touches to do. So the first thing I'm going to show you is adding some facial details, and I'm using a Sharpie for mine. So I'm going to use my Sharpie and I'm going to just put in a little circle where the eye goes. I'm also then putting in kind of a backwards C, like a backwards curly cur, and then another one there, okay? And then I'm going to have a go, and it is tricky drawing on Mod Rock because it's bumpy, but I'm going to have a go at very carefully filling in the line that separates the two parts of the beak, okay? So that's my facial details done. What I'm going to show you now is two pieces of paper that have different size leaves on. So I've got one that's got large leaves, and then I've got one that's got smaller leaves. So I'm going to cut these out. It's going to take me a little while. I'm not going to cut them perfectly, purely because I'm trying to do this quickly as a demonstration. But when you draw your leaves, you are going to take far more time over cutting them out. So what I'm going to recommend to you is you make a strip of paper that has large leaves on it, and then another strip that has small. And you're going to glue the large leaves down first, okay? Otherwise, if you glue the small leaves down first, they'll get hidden by the larger leaves. So this is the order we're going to do it in. I've done 6 large leaves, so I would recommend you aim for at least 6 as well. So I'm just sticking them kind of around. Now, I'm not actually going to glue mine, but you will. And the reason I'm not gluing mine is because I'm just showing you the placement. You're going to be gluing your leaves. If you're gluing onto Mod Rock, it's very bumpy, so you're going to have some patience and hold it down for a minute or two just to make sure it sticks. If you're sticking onto flat paper, it's far easier. Okay. So I'm just placing my larger leaves. So when we use different layers and materials, it's called a mixed media project. So this Rousseau toucan has been a culmination of paper, Mod Rock, pen, pencil, and watercolours. And they're combining to make a finished composition. Okay. Like I say, you will spend more time on the cutting process for yours. Right, let's just see. The other thing about not gluing down straight away means you can rearrange your leaves to make sure they're in a position that you're happy with. Okay, so those are my leaves that I'm going to have down the bottom, and I'm going to put one big leaf, I think, at the top here. So let's cut this one out. Now, I coloured my leaves in with felt tip pens. I think the best things to use for this is going to be either colouring pencils or felt tip pens. I don't recommend using watercolour paints because they take a bit longer to dry, and I'm sure if you've ever tried to cut out wet paper, you'll know it's not a great idea. It tends to rip while you're cutting. So if you use, like I've done, felt tip pens, it's instantly dry and you can cut it out. So those are all my large leaves. That's where I'm placing my large leaves. Now I'm going to cut out my smaller ones. Again, I'm going to cut mine kind of in a hurry just so I can have this demonstration not take too long. Obviously, whenever you're watching me do a demonstration, you can pause it if you want to try and recreate something. You don't have to try and copy at the same speed that I'm working at. But I'm doing this quickly so that it won't take you too long if you're watching it all in one go. So these ones I'm putting up the top. These kind of like dangly, like flowery ferns. These are going at the top of my picture. try when you're doing your leaves to vary them, okay? We all kind of have a standard leaf that we tend to draw. It's like the teardrop shape, like this one here. Try not to just do that shape over and over again. See if you can, like I've done, vary your leaf shapes. Now, I will recommend that you look at the original Henri Rousseau painting, because you'll see all the different types of leaves that Henri Rousseau used in this piece of artwork. So you can have a go at copying some of his leaf shapes. You might remember me telling you that Henri Rousseau actually never visited the rainforest. He never saw these plants in their native environment. He saw them in the botanical gardens in France. So if you've never been to a botanical garden, it's where they can grow tropical plants in a greenhouse. And they have them all over the world, really. And you can go and visit them, look at plants that wouldn't necessarily grow in that climate, and you can see what they look like. So that's what Henri Rousseau did. He went to the botanical gardens in France, and he copied the tropical plants and leaves to use in his rainforest artwork. And he became very famous for his rainforest artwork. So that's why people find it quite amusing or interesting that he's most famous for something that's drawn from a location he never ever actually visited. Okay. Right, last couple of plants here. These ones, you'll notice I actually put some little pink flowers on. If you look at the Henri Rousseau original, you will see there are a few little flowers in there. Not lots, it's mainly green leafy plants, but there are a few little flowers dotted around if you look for them. So if you would like to add a few flowers to yours, that would be fine. That would look nice. So, like I say, I'm not gluing it down just so you can get the idea, but that's what your finished composition might look like. Remember, vary the size of your leaves and the shapes. Stick your large leaves down first and the smaller ones over the top. Otherwise, if you put your small ones down first, they're going to be hidden by your larger leaves. So place your leaves down, larger ones first, smaller ones on top, and then that will be your final toucan composition. And when you're happy with the leaf placement, you then go ahead and add glue and stick it down. Okay, thank you, year 3.